very much, all of you, for coming here today. You could have been anywhere else, but you are here with for us, for us, and together moving forward with for us. So I'm very, very grateful to the Lord that I've managed, to have the voice for us, reaching out to so many of you and trying to forge ahead with new economic developments for our country. So with that, I'm quite grateful for the Lord that you're all here sharing these same ideas, sharing these same views that for us has got as a plan for this country. So with that, I thank you all. Sorry, you can all sit down. Sorry. Just forgetting my names. I say, yeah. So I'm just grateful for you being here and sharing this new vision for us and understanding, I think with us, just saying out our view, our vision and where we're going with it, and having this faith that you have in all of you, that this new baby, this new party is saying something to all of you, is saying something that you can see that it is a vision that is actually tangible. So to start off with, I'm just going to explain who For Us is, what For Us is about. For Us is an inclusive liberal party with a transformational socio-economic agenda that promotes equal opportunities and a fair distribution of income in a transparent manner. For Us's pledge is to create more opportunities around the world that we have as a nation, developing a transformational economic agenda that should fulfill the nation so that it can pursue national interest. We pledge to stick to our core values, which are diligence, social justice, equality, transparency, and accountability. Our aim is to see a free and open society that has a balance on the basic fundamental human rights, and as well for us to guarantee that no one should be enslaved by poverty, corruption, or violence. The party values peace, prosperity, and citizens' diversity, and understanding that our role is to nurture citizens to meaningfully contribute towards nation building. We pledge to fulfill democratic values that the others have failed to fulfill and attain. The main objective for us is to promote and effectively advance harmony amongst all classes of citizens in this country, paying little attention to ethnicity, that is race, color, status, disability, gender preference, and the status of occupation in the public arena or political affiliation. For Us aims to ensure that the nation maintains cordial ties with all countries that regard our power and trustworthiness as a nation to promote the goals that actually reinforce economic engagement with all African nations, the Commonwealth, and the United Nations, searching for development of friendships with all ideological parties in Africa and other countries, and those especially who share the party's liberal and majority belief in the rule of law. Our aim is to develop good territorial relations and maintain relations to advance and uphold the values of democracy and the rule of law in Africa and the international arena. So basically what I'm saying there is For Us is forging for nation building, mainly, and actually outroot the issues that we have in terms of citizens' diversity, and trying to see what is the best way forward so that we can build our nation to have a consensual understanding of peace and prosperity. So I've not even started my speech. That was just all about Forus and what it looks ahead to and what it is about, where it is going, who is supposed to join Forus after listening to such ideological correspondences that I've just said so far. So I'm just going to look at Forus as who is Forus. Forus is to give power to the people, where I say I am the truth to power, and power belongs to me as a voter. That is what Forus is about, in trying to bring in transparency in the way that political affiliations and how voter registrations, voter contributions should be looked at in the whole of Africa. But I'm going back to my speech and say today is actually a historic day in the Forus family and Zimbabwe at large. And we collectively embark on this first step together with all this total transformation of our lives. Through consultative engagement that we have been doing over the years and countrywide tours. What I'm trying to say here is that we have been visiting all around different provinces, trying to see if we can introduce the Forus brand and what it is about to all different provinces in Zimbabwe. And we came up with a Forus Party Manifesto, which has got substance towards excellency in service delivery and practical solutions for Zimbabwean problems, as demonstrated by all the policies that will be entailed within our policy formulation, which will soon be shared with you nationally. We are showing through our manifesto that we launched today as we officially commence our campaign that indeed we have a plan for economic emancipation, development, clean government with a clear vision to restore Zimbabwe to its glory status and prosperous future for generations to come. So what you've got there is Forus looking into the future, but with a feasibility look towards what the children will have as a future to come in Zimbabwe. So Forus is not a selfish party, but it is a party that tries to understand what is for now, what is for tomorrow, and what is for many, many, many years to come in terms of where our children are concerned. What is Forus Party's vision? Forus' vision is that of a sovereign Zimbabwe, in which a democratic decision-making order maintaining state facilitates freedom of enterprising underpinned by the rule of law and property rights to achieve transformation, justice, equality, and prosperity for all. Forus is a liberal democratic party whose core values would include recognition of the importance of the liberation of Zimbabwe in laying the first step of the country, thus commits to a fresh and transformational leadership that will complete and finish the unfinished business of the liberation struggle. So with that, I'm meaning to say that for us, we will not forget those who fought for this country to attain liberation, but at the same time, try to look ahead and see how best we can emancipate the future in terms of the economy, as the times have shifted from liberation struggle to economic struggle. The promotion of a democratic, transformative market economy where the regulatory role is to create a highly sophisticated and highly technologized society. In that, I'm looking at liberation. I've got 3 economic tools that I'm trying to use within this manifesto. You've got liberation, you've got globalization, and you've got privatization. So in terms of the promotion of democratic transformative market economy, I'm applying the liberation tool as to how we can move away from rigid regulatory systems so that we can actually spearhead the economy in a much faster way. What you have as well is freedom, equality, justice that enable individuals to pursue their own interest. With that, I'm looking at the freedom for all. Freedom to remove all these barriers that are being imposed on the citizens for them to not achieve a fulfilled life that is actually open and free. Safeguarding of civil rights and liberties based on observation and the respect of rule of law. Accountable, transparency, responsible, and people-centered leadership and government. Forus Party pledges, therefore, to actually build and safeguard a free and open society in which Zimbabweans seek to balance the fundamental values of economic freedom, equality, and community, and in which no one shall be enslaved, like I said, by poverty, ignorance, or conformity, of which you will find is the liberation application tool that I'm trying to implement so that we can remove conformity, as well as any ignorance that is actually dictated whereby there isn't any freedom. Cultivate a transformational and servanthood leadership, selflessness and transparency with zero tolerance to corruption to accelerate economic growth. That I shall not ponder on, as we can see that there isn't any type of servanthood leadership in this country. So there is a long way to go, so much training to be done at a higher level as well as at a lower level, for that communication to be free-falling between the top part and the bottom part. If there is cohesiveness within those two entities, you will find that we will have a better country, a better Zimbabwe, and a better economy. As well, to promote service delivery as a democratic right, a legitimate expectation and responsibility, where I'm saying where we've got health services, education services, we should be able to promote a very good service delivery that is democratic in its nature so that people can actually enjoy the services that the country is providing. As well, commit to fulfill the war against poverty, unemployment, underdevelopment, lack of opportunities, and inequality. There I'm looking at the creation of jobs, as well as looking at the privatization as a tool to implement whereby we are allowing a free operation of supply and demand without government intervention. Of course, there are other times whereby the government has to impose other policies for us as a country to actually operate. Hence, you're finding there is monetary values and fiscal values in all these applications that are intertwined so that the country can propel its economy in a much better way. But it is the understanding of when to apply economic and monetary tools in these sections that the government is failing to do. That's where Forus is coming in so that we can have a much better, fast-moving economy in a very, very difficult time. As well, to ensure an efficient and predictable public sector incorporating participation and the rule of law and democratic governance. Here I'm looking at the openness of the public sector to work hand in hand with the ordinary citizen so that there is transparency in terms of how public sector delivery is being maintained. Disperse the power to foster diversity and to nurture creativity based on the principles of constitutionalism, the rule of law, respect of property and human rights, and the creation of a consensus state. With that, I'm looking at people having a much more understanding of what is our constitution. Therefore, I'm saying there should be so much education in terms of how people should understand the Constitution of Zimbabwe and how it is applied, whether it is being applied in a much more transparency and democratic manner as we should expect us as for us as a government. Gender sensitivity approach to governance, recognizing and promoting the role of women, senior citizens, disabled, the youth in our governance systems. With that, I'm sure you will see in our manifesto and constitution that for us is actually spearheading for a 50-50 representation of women in the government on all sectors. Perhaps a much more ambitious way of doing things, but somebody has to start somewhere. Address the issues such as transitional justice, national healing, and reconciliation. With that, for us, is looking at the way the government is being operated in terms of governance and social justice and parliamentary. In that, I am saying there should be separation of such entities so that it actually stops causing blaring lines in understanding who stands for what and who is what and who for what. Like I'm saying, what they say is there isn't any gun in the Oval Office. In that, I am saying that there is separation of such entities in other mature democracies that we should actually follow and respect. Restoration of the social contract, building strong and independent institutions, economic devolution and equal development, establishment of a consensus state, eliminating corruption at all levels of power, development and urbanization of rural areas and infrastructure transformation. With that, I am looking at the levels of corruption, how we can actually eliminate, obliterate any forms of corruption in this country. So for us, we'll be coming in with different reforms in terms of how we can do quality assurances, checks and balances, so that actually all these public sectors and private sectors adhere to the transparency in the way that the government and its people should function. To us, the most effective leadership today isn't about technical expertise and having all the answers. It's about being an accommodative human, showing vulnerability, connecting and engaging with people, and being able to unleash their potential. So with that, for us is actually forging ahead, training all the other parties that we should be exemplary in our leadership. It's not a one-way thing, it is a two-way thing. In understanding that us as leaders, we are there to serve the people. And by so doing, you will find that the people will be happy to actually serve the government. It is a two-way thing. So in other way, I am saying we save each other in both ways. So when you find that it is inclining to one side, that's where you can see that, proper democracy is not being maintained, which makes it very difficult, for the government to function. You'll find that there would be hindrance in any way in terms of policy formulation, policy implementation, which makes it difficult for us to understand and see what the vision about Zimbabwe is about. One last thing that I've left out is the issue of climate change. It is a hot topic, and Zimbabwe should be upholding the reforms that are required in the Paris Agreement in terms of monitoring our carbon emissions and actually limiting it to a 1.5 degrees as expected in the Paris Agreement. And actually finding different ways of implementing how we put our services forward. And actually looking at the green transition as a way forward, for the future of our children. So with that, I thank you all for having so much time and giving me this chance to speak to you. And hopefully I've earned the privilege of your time. Thank you.
Business community wishes to congratulate the Freedom of Rights under Sovereign Forus Party and the people of Zimbabwe on the launch of the party manifesto on the 2nd of September 2021. The Forus Party announced a new dawn for Zimbabwean politics, which centered on a complex of Zimbabwean solutions for Zimbabwean problems, and today we are here to witness the launch of the party's roadmap. This day marks the beginning of the new era where politics shall change from blame politics, wishful politics, or nepotism politics to politics of solutions and engagement politics, politics of progress and development, practical bottom-up empowerment and unemployment, politics of implementation, diligent, clean governance which addresses social justice and transparency. Forus offers new breed of politics with a vision to redeem Zimbabwe from its economic and political wars. And as the women business community, we believe together we can support a fellow woman in Manyara Irene Mienziwa. In our eyes, as women constituents, we believe Forus Party is an inclusive liberal party with a transformational social and economic agenda that promotes equal opportunities and a fair distribution of income in a transparent manner through their well-formulated policies. The women business community takes cognizance of the fact that this momentous milestone takes place during one of the most challenging periods in the world's history. As all human battles against this common unseen enemy in the form of COVID-19 virus, which is changing into many variants each and every day. Against this background, we find it pertinent to let Zimbabwe and the Forus Party know that we pledge our highest solidarity. We are very confident that Forus Party will restore Zimbabwe's status as the breadbasket of Africa and the world at large and bring back the glory days where Zimbabwean people used to enjoy peace, justice, equality, economic emancipation, to empower them to create prosperous wealth for future generations. With that, I would like to say congratulations, Forus Party. Kunembo.
Forus.
Forus.
Kunembo.
Forus.
Kunembo.
Thank you very much.